Okay, so this is a demo on the transfer process of a tape transfer. A tape transfer requires a couple different materials. One of them is a laser printed image, so it needs to be done with a hot process laser printer, which we do conveniently have available in our room. Otherwise, the ink will not transfer to the tape, and the end result is going to look something like this, where it's like translucent. Some areas where the ink is on the paper are going to transfer to the tape, and then the places where the paper is white in an image is going to be clear, and you'll be able to do some really cool overlays with it. So to get there, you first need that laser printed image. You're going to need just regular old packaging tape, a scissors, and then you can use the scissors if it has a nice firm handle for burnishing, or something else that you could burnish with would also work great. So I'm going to trim my image down to start. And so if there is a lot of white space around your image, I suggest trimming that off, because that's not something that's going to transfer. It's something that's going to peel away from the tape in the next step of the process. And it'll be less work for you if you don't have a whole lot of white on there. So I recommend trimming the image down. After you trim the image down, you want to get enough packaging tape to cover the image. And so I would just kind of pre-plan, think about like the width of the tape, the width of your image, and how you're going to lay that out. The tape can overlap a little bit, but it will separate in the next step. So if it does overlap, just know that you will have to put it back together. If it's pieced together like, you know, edge to edge like this, you will also have to put it together, so you can kind of decide which is easier, or just kind of put it down and figure that out later. Okay, so I found the edge of the tape, so now I'm gonna peel it off and just tape it over the image. You can tape it directly to the surface of the desk or the table if you want to. Just make sure that you're able to peel it up if you do that. So I'm actually gonna try not to stick it all the way down on this edge, so that way it's easier to peel away. Okay, and then I am gonna need a second piece. I'm just gonna overlap my pieces. You can decide what you feel is best. You could also think about like the direction that you're putting the packaging tape over the image to. If there's a certain way that you wanna go about doing that, you can. Okay, and then the next step, you wanna make sure that you're burnishing really hard the tape onto the image. So I'm just taking the hard handle of the scissors and rubbing all over the entirety of the image to get it to transfer. Okay, now I'm gonna peel it away off the desk. And then the next step is going to be getting the paper off, and the ink will be transferred into the packaging tape. So we're gonna do that over at the sink. Okay, so now we are at the sink. You wanna create a water bath for yourself with some nice warm water. That's just gonna help to loosen the paper off the back of the tape. And that's our goal, to get the paper to peel off of the back of the tape. And then if you did a good job burnishing, the ink will still be stuck onto the tape. So it's pretty cool. So a warm bath of water is helpful. A little bit of soap in that water can also help, so you can add just a little bit of soap just to kind of like loosen up the paper a bit. And then you're just gonna take your fingers and just peel the paper away. So I hold it like this and then just peel it away with my thumbs, and then every once in a while I'll just kind of dunk it down in the water to remove the paper. So I'm peeling it like this and then just kind of like washing the paper off in the water bath. You can also just like run it directly under the faucet, and sometimes the force of the faucet will help the paper to wash off, you know, in addition to the friction that you're creating with your thumbs. You want to try and get as much of the paper off as you possibly can, otherwise you're going to end up with like some residual paper that kind of clouds the image when you go to integrate this into your sketch for this week. So I'm just going to remove the paper as much as I can. You can also let it soak. So if you start this process and then you got to run and go do something else, try to get it to the step that like where the paper's still on the back of the tape, but you have it maybe just soaking in a bath of warm soapy water, and then when you come back it can be even easier because the paper just starts to kind of disintegrate and break down in the water, and then it's easier to remove from the back of the tape. But your finished product should be something like this. So before you adhere it to your artwork, you probably want to let it dry a bit. When you adhere it to your artwork, sometimes the tape is still sticky on the side where we remove the paper. Sometimes it's not. So sometimes you need to add a little bit of glue to collage it into your work. It works really great for overlays because, as you can see, you can still see my hand through the image. And you can also use it with the shiny side of the tape up, or you can flip the image and use it with the dull side of the up if you'd like. Some people like that surface finish better. The only thing I would say is if you have any imagery that needs to be read like right to left, like text, that would be something that would be flipped if you chose to put the more matte side, sticky side of the tape up, where there might be some residual paper that kind of gives it a more matte finish. So yeah, that's the process. Really simple, easy to do, really fun, also kind of crafty if you wanted to, do this in other places to kind of add images to your, your notebooks or something like that. It's kind of a fun, simple process to do. People like to do it if you look on Pinterest with photo booth photos. They'll copy those with a laser copier and then, do this process with the packaging tape. But anyway, have fun and figure out a way that you can integrate this with another art medium for your sketch assignment for this week.